provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press on December 19, 2018, and notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building.
Thank you, April. Can everybody join me in saluting the flag of our great nation? Just remain standing for a moment to give thought to our troops and their families and our first responders. Thank you. Okay. April, we have anything for workshop today? I don't think we do. All right. Any petitions? Anybody have a petition that they want to present to council? All right. Seeing none, approval of minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 20th meeting. Okay. Councilwoman Wan? Yes. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Abstain.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes. Reports of council. Councilman Carvelli?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Really, the only thing I have this week is an update on the Police Explorers program that will be launching this year. There's going to be a letter going out to all the students in Belmar Elementary School and St. Rose. The kickoff meeting will be on September 21st at 10 a.m. So look for the letter from, I guess it's coming from the police chief? Yes. Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. And you can contact me if you're interested. There'll be some other police officers that will be heading this up as well. So that'll all be contained in the letter. And that's all I have for this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman McCracken?
My apologies for being late. I was at the Housing Authority meeting, which went a little over this evening. And April, if you wouldn't mind re-recording my vote for the August 20th meeting as approved. I was confused. So the Housing Authority. Stabilized occupancy. All the units there are occupied. There was one unit that was turned over, which was recently renovated by Mike Carr, who's the superintendent there, painted the unit, put in new carpeting, and replaced the cabinets. The Housing Authority is in the process of identifying capital improvements for this coming fiscal year, which starts October 1. Some ideas include repairing the parking lot and restriping that, putting in new LED lighting to save energy and update the safety in that area, updating the Wi-Fi and computers, which are old and outdated, and replacing some furniture that's been fully depreciated as well. As far as the budget's concerned, the numbers are looking good for this year, and the Housing Authority is anticipating a healthy surplus, which increases, which is in excess of the HUD guidelines. So the accountant gave a report this evening, and the finances for the Housing Authority are solid with good reserves.
No. Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Wan.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to mention something. It's called a New Jersey Run for the Fallen, and it's on September. It's going to be here on September 29th. Later on, someone's going to get up and explain this to you. But this is for those we have two in our area that lost their lives during the Operation Iraqi Freedom. And what they do is they start in Cape May and run up the coast, and they stop for a few minutes. The first stop is going to be at North Boulevard, and the second stop will be over on 5th, between 5th and 6th. And it's just you can come out and just stand there, wave, say a prayer, and support them. But there are flyers around. We'll get into detail, and Claire's going to get up later and explain what this is. It's really very nice, and it would be nice for us to support them. Also, the committee is together for McCleary Park for our volunteers. The first meeting is going to be September 17th, and we'll take it from there, and hopefully we can get our tennis courts done, maybe not by next year, but soon. Also saw some grants that were available, so we're going to be working on that. And the committees that I'm on, the meetings will just be starting now in September and October. So that's all I have to report for now. Oh, the community policing. We're going to have a wrap-up meeting for the community policing now that the summer's over, and go over all the information and details of what's happened through the summer. And I believe it was very successful. We had a good summer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council President Brennan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tourism Commission had a meeting last Wednesday. The big talk was San Gennaro Festival, September 14th and 15th, between 10th and 12th. A couple of changes. The stage is going to be set up at the end of 11th Avenue. Does Maria Florio know she got the thing?
Yes.
I definitely have to congratulate Maria Florio. Oh my gosh, about time. I can't think of a better daughter of San Gennaro, I'm telling you. Absolutely, good for you. The mass is going to be on the Saturday. Anyway, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here to see it because I am actually going to be in Naples on the 14th and 15th. Sorry. Yeah, really too bad.
You want to cancel that?
I almost did. When I heard it was Maria, I almost canceled my trip. All right. Two other things. On tonight's agenda, we're going to be appointing Krista Sperber to the Environmental Commission. We're also going to be appointing 3 more people to the Shade Tree Commission. I want to congratulate those people and thank them. Serving on these commissions is entirely voluntary, and people willing to put in their time and expertise strictly because they want to see betterment for the Bureau. They want to make sure that Belmar's heading in the right direction. I just applaud that. I think it's fantastic, and there are plenty of opportunities for anybody else who's looking to do that kind of thing. Just all you got to do is ask. There's plenty to do. And finally, I know I speak for the mayor and the rest of the council when I say to Beach Director Corey, Lifeguard Director Harson, and Public Work Director Campbell, a fantastic job this summer. Fantastic. The beach was beautiful, always. Beach was beautiful. We did what you had to do. I saw your report, Mr. Corey. It's a very, very well done. I really appreciate all the efforts you and everybody that you all supervise, all their efforts, and it's a credit to you and to the town. So thank you. And that's my report.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just have to echo that. We came through the summer. The weekends this summer were unbelievable. The weather was just unbelievable, and all 3 sitting over there, unbelievable job. All I heard was compliments all weekend long about how clean our boardwalk is, the beaches, our lifeguards all staffed. We had an unfortunate incident down in Spring Lake where all our lifeguards went down to help, and the results weren't like we like it to be, but they were all down there working hard. But we had a great staff, which is always tough to do on Labor Day, and Chief Harson did a great job getting everybody staffed. Gene Corey, the beach director, he was pulling his hair out of his head because so many people were missing, and he had to fill all these positions, and everything was filled. So great job, Gene. And of course, Mike Campbell keeping everything running down there as far as keeping everything clean, and the compliments this weekend were just unbelievable. And it was a great summer. So congratulations, all you guys, for doing great work. The only other thing I want to report, Saturday, we dedicated the post office. It was a great turnout. It was good to see a lot of people from Belmar there. While we dedicated the post office to Dr. Walter McAfee, who was, when you read his story, is just incredible how he changed. Basically, he was part of a team that changed history for us in the United States, and to send people to the moon with his putting together the communication skills was just unbelievable. So it was good to see everybody out. You'll see the plaque hanging in the post office, and hopefully they'll have a little story about, so if anybody gets a chance that didn't read the story about him, it's, and then he was from the 07719. I'd like to say he was from Belmar, but Councilman Brennan corrected me, he lived on 17th Avenue, so he was from the 07719 area. But for somebody that did that kind of work that was from this area is really impressive. So if you get a chance, take a look at it. And that's all I have. All right, moving on. Anybody have comments about our agenda item? All right, seeing none. April?
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Who's that? Who's second?
Tom Carvelli.
Okay, Councilman Juan?
April, just real quick on the tree commission. Jim Sherrick, I spoke to him on the phone yesterday. He's not officially moving here full-time for another couple weeks till the end of October. So I think the ordinance says you have to be a Belmar resident to be on the Shade Tree Commission, so we may want to hold off on him or appoint him provisionally until he's a full-time Belmar resident.
Can we appoint him as of that date that he's coming in? Or
Yeah, we'll
tonight?
put that in there
Okay.
as an
Yeah.
alternate and
He's
effective.
a resident now, isn't he?
He is not.
Oh, I see.
He
Oh,
has a home here and spends much of his time here, but he just.
Do you know what date?
He said the end of October. He
So
doesn't
put
know.
like November 1st effective?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Councilman Juan? Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes. All right, we're moving on. We don't have any ordinances, but didn't we have a second reading on an ordinance, April?
It'll be on the next agenda. It has to go before the planning board first because one of the sections we're deleting is in the development regulations chapter.
Oh, okay. All right,
So
thanks.
it'll be on the next meeting's agenda.
All right, so we're moving on to public comments, public session. Yes.
Anita Pecorelli, River Ridge Apartments. I just wanted to let you know that I rebooted the Friends of the Belmar Public Library nonprofit organization, all volunteer, to help with to get the information out about the library activities and to help with any fundraising that need. That said, we're very concerned about the lease on the library annex. Many programs are there, many exercise programs, mahjong, bridge. The makerspace is upstairs. They do electronics and coding. This is all very, the beach music studios practice in the property there. AA has meetings there. I completely understand the condition of the building and such like that, but we want to make sure that you balance your choices with the quality of life of the Belmartians in town that participate in all these programs, and more will, because the building has a full kitchen, the building has a full stage. I mean, it has so much potential for the children and seniors and residents of Belmar, then I think I really want to impress on you. I'm only one person standing here, but I could get, if you want a petition, if you want to know how many people are actually running through that building in a day or a week, I'll gladly get that for you. So I just ask you that you consider all opinions when making your decision on the lease.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Hi, Bobby.
Hello, everyone. Bobby Henniger, 512 9th Avenue. I wanted to ask that there is some type of review that will be done either by the council or planning board or zoning board of the sidewalk cafe section of the public, of the outdoor dining ordinance. I'm getting the feeling that there are a lot of businesses that are taking advantage of a very well-intentioned ordinance. I was actually very upset to see the structure going up at Flames Restaurant recently. They have affixed vertical columns to the pavers on the sidewalk and then put horizontal fencing between them. At this particular corner, I find it really upsetting because there are 5 other structures right on that corner. There's a traffic signal, there's a utility pole, there's a street lamp, a street post, and a traffic sign, and it looks awful. And I understand that there are provisions to have things looked at on a case-by-case basis. It really does state that it should be 6 feet of unobstructed sidewalk, but in no case less than 4 feet. Because I'm on the ADA committee, I thought that something like this really should come before our committee, and because there are 2 council members on that committee as well, I thought that would be a really practical solution to have something looked at. But notwithstanding that, if it does meet ADA requirements, it still looks awful. And in looking at a lot of the restaurants who have sidewalk dining, I feel that quite a lot of them are really pushing the envelope. They are not complying with what is required. April had provided all of us a copy of the ordinance, so I've been looking at that, and some things are very minor. There are things like not delineating a sidewalk dining area with decorative chain and stanchions, but there are quite a few businesses that are kind of going beyond that. And Flames is the most obvious one. I think there are others who are not delineating their area, but it also interferes with passage on the sidewalk because there's no delineation. Combined with the fact that there are tree planting areas in some of the sidewalks. So it really makes it really difficult, I think, to have any type of easy access to the sidewalks. So I would really like to see the council do something to address that issue. I realize that the zoning officer has the approval of all these applications, but I just don't think it's sufficient at this time, and I think, I would like to see it looked at before more things happen on Main Street that add to clutter and just make it detrimental to a visual improvement.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
what we're gonna take a look at the ordinance and
Okay.
see if we can update it.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, my name is Lisette. I live at 413 13th Avenue. I'm relatively new to Belmar, only a year. After my kids went off to college, I decided, got to pick somewhere to sell my house and go live somewhere else, so I picked Belmar. But I do have a concern. I live on 13th Avenue. The street is extremely dark. I had my neighbor next door to the right of me came over about 2 months ago. I have cameras set up in my home. Somebody tried to break through their back door. I don't know if they contacted the police department, but I encouraged them to. They asked me if I had caught any video footage, which I didn't. Then last night, my neighbor to the left of me came over to warn me that they were hanging out in their front porch, and around 2 in the morning, somebody was trying to get in through their back door. So now I have to the right and to the left of me. Then the girl across the street comes over and she says, hey, I called the police because somebody tried to break into my house. So this has been going on since about June timeframe. I did go into the portal back in July 17th to report an issue. My daughter was home, I was not home, and around midnight she's like, hey, there's somebody messing around with the garbage, and I think it was just kids playing. They took the garbage and they took it 2 blocks over, then they took some cones from Public Works and threw it in our garbage, but it was very dark out there. So I'm walking with my mom the other night to go get ice cream to downtown, and behind me I kind of felt like there's somebody behind us, and I turned around and I see someone like almost ducking between 2 cars, but it's so dark I wasn't able to see. I crossed the street, and then the person, they just got up and turned the other way. Then about a couple weeks ago, walking same block on the fifth block of 13th, walking down the street and there's a bicyclist, but it's so incredibly dark. And I don't know, and I know that there's same amount of light posts throughout each of the streets. It looks like there's about 2 on each street. But I think that the one on 13th, on the 4th and the 5th block, they're either very dim or they're old or something. The lighting is just isn't correct or something. And I'm just concerned about safety from that perspective. I do have to say the Public Department does a great job. I see them all the time out there cleaning up, and I mean, they do a fabulous job. One thing I do notice is that we don't have as much presence of security in our area, because I understand with the summer swing that we have a lot of noise complaints and stuff on 15th and 16th and 17th, so their presence is more. But I really feel that we're a little bit more vulnerable in our area because it is so dark, and I'm just concerned about some of these break-ins. I think that was. Oh, and I do have a question of where can I get the ordinance for upkeep of homes? I just noticed that, some of the homes, you have like trees practically growing out of the roofs because they're not keeping up with it, and overgrown grass and stuff like that. I just think it takes away from the curb appeal of what we stand for here. So I'd like to know where I can get that information, or what is the process to kind of make sure that everybody's doing their job to keeping our community clean and safe. And, when you clean these areas up, then you don't have to worry about people using those things, especially overgrown grass, to hide behind kind of thing. So that's all I had.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you asked a question, so
Yes.
to answer your question, one is you can put that in through the community policing, and it will get to the right person, or you can call code enforcement directly. But I don't know the link offline, but all of the ordinances are online and searchable.
Okay.
And I think we just link to them from the
Go to
website.
So I did-
belmar.com and you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
I
Belmar-
did put into the portal about the lighting situation, how dark it is, and that was on July 17th that I put in that concern about it being so dark. Again, I don't know if it's a matter of just the lighting or what.
Did you call, or did anybody call police department in regards to the break-ins? Do you know if they have?
Well, the one across the street definitely did. The neighbor next to the left of me, which again, I just met these folks in the last year. I don't know that they did. No, in fact, let me go back. She told me she did not because she figured, hey, whatever it was, they went away. The one to the right of me, I encouraged him to please call the police because it was around 5 a.m. in the morning, and their bedroom is right there.
What day of the week?
It was during the week because I actually worked from home that day.
What we'll do is, I'll get your number and your information at the end of the meeting, and then Mr. Campbell will take a look at the lighting situation down there to see if there's any problems, and then we'll also talk to the chief of police and make sure that all these problems are being addressed.
Okay, thank you.
Michael?
Thank you.
I will get the poll numbers, we'll be out there tomorrow, but it is a JCP&L issue, actually. They're not city-owned, unfortunately. But I will look at it, and I'll call it in to JCP&L. I also, if Mr. Kirschbaum is getting your information, I can contact you tomorrow. You also should make a complaint to JCP&L, because the more
Okay.
they hear about it, the better off it is.
Okay,
So
regarding
again,
this,
if it needs to
okay.
be updated, if there's something done that we can help you with, then we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, and I'll also look at the ordinance because some of the trees, I think that's also the challenge too, that if there was lighting, some of the trees sit so low on the sidewalk because they're not being taken care of. So like when you're walking, you're like ducking under some of it because it's sitting too low, and I think that's a risk.
Oh,
If
at
you
the
go-
end of the meeting, can you wait just a couple minutes, I'll get all your information?
Yep,
Yeah,
Thank
if you want to give him your email address too, I can email you the link to the ordinance rather than
Okay.
you searching for it.
perfect, great, thank you, thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Hello, my name is Mark Nejma. I run a couple small businesses in your town. It's a very lovely town, quiet, safe, and I guess my business, the roofing business, has been kind of getting under people's hair because I have a couple extra trucks, and we parked over in a parking lot that we thought was okay to park there because we saw other commercial vehicles there. So
How
to
many
the,
is a couple, sir?
how many?
How many is a couple that you parked there?
I have 4 vehicles there, but the lot is 90% empty. And there were a couple other commercial vehicles there, so that's why we parked there. We had parked some vehicles on the street, and from what I understand, some neighbors complained. So we actually stopped by the storage place, and someone...
We get the same complaints parked in that lot, all it's turning into a
Okay,
commercial lot.
I'd like to talk about that, because
Okay.
I'm a business person, and I pay my rent, so then the landlord pays taxes, and, you know, we hope that's a good thing. My suggestion to you is this: for businesses to thrive in your city, which I would assume you want Main Street to thrive, number one, when a business moves in, they should be informed that there are a couple of grants that can be used. Number one, to fix the exterior of the store, and number one, to fix the interior of the store. This is tax money that's collected in Monmouth County, and then is supposed to be distributed fairly to businesses. Now, for one, we were never told that until after you start, and the rule says that if you start first, then you can't get those grants. No complaint here. I'm more of a conservative, so I like to pay for my own things. But when a business comes in, let us know, hey, you're going to be welcome here, or we're not going to allow commercial vehicles here, or, you know, we're going to change an ordinance because that parking lot there, you're allowed to park there now. However, I got a very angry, nasty call to intimidate me, saying, you got to get out now. Then when I ask questions, I find out that the ordinance does not state that. Now, I want to just make suggestions. Lucky for you, I'm getting out of the business. I'm 60, I've had 2 heart attacks, so I'm not really interested in having 4 trucks. So I'm not going to be your problem. But from a business person's standpoint, perhaps you might want to set up a permit system so that you can actually collect revenue from people like me that move into your town that need a place to park. Now, I understand you had a very good restaurant that had a truck parked there, and then he had to move. He probably had the same call that I had. But I don't think your town, or any town for that matter, wants to intimidate businesses. A friendly call saying, well, we're considering changing the ordinance. We're putting out a mailer saying we're going to change the ordinance. What's your opinion of this? But it looks like most likely we're going to vote to have you move your trucks. I think that's more appropriate instead of an intimidating call.
I
Now,
was on the board, sir.
Well, I'm telling you that you were a little intimidating, okay? So, you know, I love to be face-to-face with people because it's much easier. So what I want to do is make a suggestion. Charge us. You got plenty of parking. Your people need the revenue.
We don't have plenty of parking. That's one of the problems with Belmar.
That whole summer, maybe there were 10% of the lot taken, and you had a busy summer. Belmar is a place that I came to when I was younger with buddies, and we stayed here. But nobody's parking over there. And there's plenty of businesses and people that work out of their homes with trucks and everything that need a place to park. Now, do you want to force contractors out of your town because you don't like what their trucks look like? Do you want to force food trucks out? Do you want to force all businesses out so nobody can rent the stores? It doesn't make sense. I'd like to see your city grow. This is a wonderful place. Actually, I think the vibe in Belmar is very nice. You know, the police are very nice, they're very kind. You know, everything seems so nice, but let us know as business people. Do we belong here or do we not belong here? Should contractors not rent storefronts and not park their trucks? Just tell us. Because it doesn't make sense to like get a surprise.
But
That's
if all
what-
the
that's-
contractors that rented here
What's
wanted
that?
to have spaces,
Well, I saw Avon has a
it
buy
wouldn't look
permit
good for the
parking.
residents of Belmar, that's for sure.
What's
To have
that?
all these businesses come in, contractors, and have all their trucks parked all in our lots. I mean, you're not renting the lot.
Well, I'm suggesting that you put a permit fee in, just like Avon has. Avon has permits. There's a siding company, very good siding company, I think Harding Siding or something like that. They rent spaces behind the police station by permit only. That's what I'm suggesting. That lot did not get crowded. There was nothing there. All summer, even Labor Day, nothing.
It's just we get calls from all the neighbors that say, all these trucks are parked.
Well, I think that if you have a town
So you
that's,
don't think that we should call you and say, what are you doing?
I think that
You
you
don't
should,
rent our lot.
but it's legal for us to park there according to your ordinance now.
Okay.
And from what I understand, you can't just change an ordinance overnight. The ordinance affects everyone, including people that rent here and not own.
Correct.
So if the ordinance is going to get changed, and I was told that the ordinance is getting changed tonight, is that correct?
It's in the works, it's not getting changed back yet.
Okay, well, I think that we should all have a notice, and business people should have a notice, and then business people that are thinking about moving in, they should also be able to research that. Look, I'm sure, I mean,
If you're renting a storefront, that's where the place you rent. So whatever you could fit in the storefront, that's what you're supposed to have. I mean, I don't know where you think that the town of Belmar should give you the right to park all your trucks here.
well,
I mean,
it's, what type of business is it, okay? We have to show up to your home, and we have to fix your roof, or fix your patio, or there's plenty of contractors here, and I would say that they drive the economy too. I'm not saying that you should, I'm just suggesting that it's a revenue opportunity, and it might solve a problem. If you want to grow your Main Street and really make it robust, then make it business-friendly and have permits. There's other businesses that might have other types of vehicles that are important. Maybe a flooring company move in, maybe, I don't know what will move in that might need some parking. But it's more logical when you have these empty lots that you had a robust summer that had no cars parked in it this summer, that why wouldn't you take the opportunity on a year-by-year basis to give permits for a fee and always have the option of changing it if you needed that parking later, instead of just reacting to a complaint of a few?
Quite a few residents.
Then let them come here and say it.
okay, well, thank you, because
Thank you.
we get your point.
All right,
We get
thank
your
you very
point.
much.
We're going to be looking into it.
Thank
Anyone else? Yes.
Claire Hayner, 221 18th Avenue. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council, for listening to this. As Councilwoman Wan said, that on September 29th, the New Jersey Run for the Fallen is going to be coming through Belmar as well as Spring Lake, Seagirt. They're starting out in Cape May on the 25th, and they go all the way up to the PNC Arts Center. It's over 190 miles, and it's a group of military runners that just come together and to honor each and every New Jersey service member that was killed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, Operation New Dawn, and other conflicts. My sister and I became familiar with this because one of the stops was for our cousin, Colonel John McHugh, and his was down in Brick, and now he's in Bayville, his hero marker that they call. So after we went to that, we looked and we said, well, I wonder if they're coming through Belmar. And sure enough, here they are, coming through Belmar, where Councilwoman Wan said the first stop is at Ocean Avenue and North Boulevard. And as it turned out, to my surprise, it was for the son of a coworker that I worked with at UPS for over 20 years. And then the other one is down at Taylor Pavilion in that area. And that gentleman was right from Shark River Hills. Okay, so anyway, it's a really neat organization. And what they do is they start out and they bring a truck that has a picture and the name of each and every service member. And that truck stays there for a little bit, and they're escorted by the motorcycle guys and everything. And then the runners come, and they have 3 flags, one for the American flag, a Gold Star flag, and then the military flag. And then they hand it off to people that are standing there, family members or friends. And then they read the bio card and then present things to the family and things. But it's just, over the years, it's been coming, like it's a really neat thing that happens. And last year we were down in, actually we went down to Stone Harbor to see one, and they had, the fire engines had the flags and out and everything, and it was a big to-do, per se. So if there was anything that Belmar could do just to spruce it up a little bit for them, instead of them just coming through, obviously, like, they're in and out of Belmar within 10 minutes. It's non-disruptive and everything else, but some encouragement for them would be really nice. That's it.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, in the back.
Mayor and Council, I'm going to address the situation at the 8th Avenue crossing in front of the senior building. It's been 2 months since the accident at the crosswalk at the 8th Avenue. The seniors expect traffic calming devices to be installed. This is a public safety and a quality of life issue. Seniors shop at the stores in town 365 days a year. They need to have safe access to get to the stores. There are many simple, inexpensive solutions to make crossing 8th Avenue safer for all pedestrians. Also want to point out that, in case you don't realize this, many of the seniors have mobility impairments. So they need that much more time to cross at the crosswalk. Many drivers are very impatient. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind that if this accident occurred in one of the surrounding towns, that their administration would have taken action immediately to resolve the crosswalk situation. Mayor, show us you really care. Please act now. Thank you.
Thank you. We are
Okay.
acting. We are acting with the state because it is a state highway, and we have to take their direction. But we are in contact with them, our chief of police is, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do some traffic calming. They will not allow us to put speed bumps on a state highway.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We have a meeting scheduled again, based on Chief Hines' letter of July 22nd with his pictures to the State Department of Transportation. We're still waiting for them, but we were confirmed that September 17th at 2:30, we're going to meet with the DOT and New Jersey Transit because they are partners within that state highway. So we're meeting with them at 2:30 on the 17th.
Yes.
Hi, Jim Bean, 612 16th Ave. No, I just wanted to say that when I cross Ocean Ave, actually, I stop at the crosswalk and I make eye contact with the car, and within a half a second, you see the car slowing down. It takes me a half a second to cross. With mobility issues, the car could almost be a second, 2 seconds away, and by the time they're starting to cross, the car's coming up and not see the senior. So I just wanted to concur with Missy that we need some kind of traffic slowing device. And what is the speed limit there? Do we know?
25.
Because I wouldn't really call that a state highway then, more of a
Well,
state
it's owned by
road.
the state. The road is owned by, you know that.
I know
You
that.
know that. I mean,
do.
you should be sending letters to DOT like we're doing, and instead of coming to this council meeting, because that's what we're dealing with.
Oh.
We're dealing with the state DOT.
Well, then you should say, hey, state DOT, we're putting them down, and when you come up with a solution, they'll come up.
Oh, so you want me to break the law?
Well,
Is that what you're asking me?
I'm asking you to have your seniors, and it's a suggestion. Maybe there's a better suggestion out there.
Well, that's what we're looking into.
Okay, I just want to concur what Missy said, thank you.
But you know that is a state highway.
Yeah, I know the,
You know that is.
okay.
So you're coming up here telling us something that we cannot control without their okay.
They put stop signs on 16th Ave last year. Did they have the county's okay for all that?
That was the county,
Did,
and the county made them take it down.
actually, they made them take it down after the summer season.
I have no idea.
They did. I walked
wasn't
there
mayor at the time.
all the time. But my point
I don't know
is,
what was going on. I wasn't
His
mayor at the
town
time.
safety kind of came first, and he took maybe a verbal backlash from the county. But, hey, the state might call you and give you a little flack, but your seniors are safe.
So
That's-
you're
that's
telling me to
all.
break the law?
Mayor,
You realize if we break the law, anything we put there, then we're liable for lawsuits even more so?
Well, I doubt a speed bump would, I'm actually trying to save stuff, but,
There is not a speed bump on a state road in the state of New Jersey at this time.
okay,
We
that's
are
fine.
trying our hardest to try to get safety features, but we have to deal with the DOT and New Jersey Transit. We are working with them. We call them every other day. You know,
Good.
it's like to work
Well-
with the state, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to get there. We have a meeting set up for September 17th because there's a lot of issues, whether it be lightage or signage, within the railroad crossing, so everybody's got to be safe.
So we're just keeping pressure on our elected officials, that's all we're
We keep
doing.
pressure all the time. It's a state roadway, and you know what we're up against, Mr. Bean.
Very good, sir.
Let me ask you one thing. So the one thing that we can do, right, is take that crosswalk out.
Okay.
Is that a viable solution?
Well,
that-
I would have-
That the seniors would be satisfied with?
That's such an open-ended question. I mean, we're going to move it, but sure, sure, but
I wouldn't
there's
move it
a
anywhere.
lot
I
of-
would take it, we could take
Move
it
it.
out, and then they would have to go down to the corner of 8th and Main to cross.
Well, you'd have to run that by the seniors. I'm just here advocating that, slow the traffic down. I'm just, and trust me, crossing Ocean Ave, I sit there and let the cars zoom by until I can find one to jump, to try to slow down.
I get it.
That's all I'm saying.
You know,
I
Mr. Bean,
understand.
that we have traffic issues all over town.
Yes.
So, the chief has advised myself, the mayor and council, that enforcement is underway. They are checking for speeders, they are checking pedestrians in the crosswalks. They're doing everything they can. They can't be everywhere, but they are trying. It's our number one concern for our seniors and for our children and for our residents and for our visitors. That's our number one concern. So we're trying everything by enforcement, education, social media postings, and trying to meet with the state DOT and New Jersey Transit. So we're trying everything. We're keeping the pressure on them. It's the utmost thing is the safety of our streets, our residents, like I said, our visitors, everybody.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none. April?
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting
Motion.
and close the public session? Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.